Medicine Podcast with Simba. Sparking positive change in the community. Having real conversations and therapy. And you know that laughter's the best remedy. Got that heavy dose of humor for your hearts to heal. With mental health, it can't get any more real, yeah. Best Medicine Podcast. Laugh, love, learn. Best Medicine Podcast.
Best Man Pod. It's your man Simba Roar back in this thing once more, bruh. And today, guess what I have? A special guest. Guess what I have? A special guest. I told you, all I have is special guests. All right? And this is another one. So I met this man, last week. Shout out to Second Mondays. It's a creative circle where people from the Bay, people not from the Bay, people who, want to get together and give something to each other, give something to the world. Writers, photographers, poets, healers, people who make podcasts. We all get together every second Monday and, flow and vibe with each other. And it's a beautiful sight. I'll definitely have some Second Monday content up for you. But today, I saw him. He did his poem. I was like, yeah, man, I hear it. I want to hear that story. I want to hear that story. From that 5 minutes that you just told, I want to hear this story. A self-proclaimed wounded healer, artist, poet, MC, all around good dude. I'd like to introduce you to Kid Cano. What's up, bro?
Blessings.
How you doing?
Good. Yourself? Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it, yeah.
That's good. Just a quick introduction about myself.
Yeah, who are you?
So,
tell these people, man.
He said,
who you are.
He said, I'm a wounded healer. So my name is, first name is Daniel Cano, but a.k.a. Kid Cano. I'm one half of San and Daniel Cano, which is a hip-hop group by my cousin and I. We're one day apart, on August 25th, August 26th, 1993.
Dope.
Making us both Virgos. And yeah, I'm a wound healer who uses art and words to heal myself, the listeners, and the planet. And I think that's I've finally been tapping into my purpose. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk more about it in this interview. That's
dope, man. So your last name is Cano.
Yes.
That's almost like. It's almost like God was divining you, and like it's how much do you resonate with Chicano culture?
Yeah,
if at all.
Yeah. So I think I had to really learn first more about what a Chicano culture is because. My grandparents were the ones who immigrated from Mexico into the U.S., into L.A., specifically L.A. County. And that makes my parents first generation Chicanos, right?
Yeah.
So they grew up, my parents had me when they were 18, 19, and my mom was visibly pregnant when she was walking on stage. And my dad was going to community college at that time. And this is the 90s. Right?
Yeah.
And they grew up in rival gang territories.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. And so I think in ways they've showed me the Chicano culture specifically through music. Like my mom put me on a lot of the oldies. So when we listen to when I hear on the radio Art LeBeau, and just the soulful music, that's my mom.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the hip hop and rap, that's my dad. So he's the one who put me on Pac, on NWA, on Snoop, mainly like the LA based rappers in the 90s. I think that is also a part of the Chicano culture, embracing like the duality of being both Mexican, but what is it also to be living in like urban America.
Right. So hearing your name, Kid Cano, and hearing your story and hearing you, do your words, it's also, like I said, it's divine, because your name is is a metaphor.
Yeah.
Your name has multiple meanings.
That's right.
And the fact that you don't even really have to. I don't have a stage name. Like, this is my actual name.
Yeah.
I was a kid that like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So when'd you write your first rhyme?
This was middle school.
Yeah.
So backstory, I grew up in LA for about LA County. I try not to say LA because people are like, okay, well, where?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, I'm closer to Long Beach.
Yeah, they want to put you in the city.
Yeah, they're like, well, then you're not from LA, so stop saying that.
Yeah.
But
it's only like, so NorCal, the people that, like, all of it is LA.
Right.
Like, I have a dude that I have a homie who's from here.
Yeah.
And when I talk about, like, Long Beach and wherever, Santa Monica or wherever I say,
yeah,
I'm like, that's all LA. He's like, no, actually, I'm like, no, actually, it's all LA because I'm from Oakland.
Just like when some people say, oh yeah, I live in the Bay, and they're like, what? And they say Sacramento.
Yeah.
And you're like,
work that way.
Okay, that's NorCal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of politics around like territory, right? And, but,
Sacramento, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sacramento and San Jose, y'all ain't the Bay. All right? Y'all ain't the Bay.
But specifically, the city that I grew up is Artesian and Norwalk. But going back to what you said, when I first wrote my first rhyme, I was 15, and at that moment, I was living in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And I moved there when I was 11, and I was there from 6th grade until 11th grade of high school. And I think it was 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade when I wrote my first rhyme. It's called 2005.
You remember your first rhyme?
I can recite a little bit of it.
Okay. Where was you on? What was you on in 2005?
So, the first line that says, "This is how we do," reminds me of 6th grade. That's when I had everything made. From a good life to really good friends. It was all good from the beginning to the end. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
But you said what put me on. It says, the first line said, "This is how we do."
Yeah.
The Game of 50 Cent. So I was
Shout out to 2005.
Shout out to 2005. Shout out to the documentary. Shout out to Get Rich and Die Trying. Like, that was just part of the culture I was growing up in LA, and being in Oklahoma City just threw me into a whole nother type of sound and environment and neighborhood that I wanted to retain this LA culture with
Definitely.
me. So the Game for me was very critical at that.
Yeah, because he was the hottest thing in the world at that point.
Yeah.
Especially LA. He brought LA back, as he said. That, because before Game, all we had was Snoop.
Yep.
Big people, Nate Dogg and everything
Snoop,
like that.
Dre.
Yeah. But hard hitters.
Yeah.
And Game was young then, so he was fresh. He definitely started that second birth of West Coast music.
Right. And one thing that also really gravitated to me, because even around that time, technology is starting to evolve, so I had access to information about doing research on artists, and I found out that the Game was a quarter Mexican, and so for me, seeing a small piece of my identity reflected in hip hop was huge. For my generation at that time, for my dad, it was more so artists such as Kid Frost, who were very much talking about the Chicano culture back then.
Right.
But for me, it was the Game. I was like, oh, dope! He's Afro Latino, Mexican, whatever label identify he is. It kind of spoke to saying oh, maybe you have a place here, but respect the greats.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely gotta respect the greats.
You gotta respect the greats. You gotta study the game, and you gotta pay homage.
100%. Yeah. When I had a youngster who was like, man, I want to rap, and help me. I was like, all right, well, read this book. It was everything you need to know about the music business. Ask me if he ever read it.
You want me to guess what he did?
Ask me if he ever read it.
Did he read your recommendation?
Not a word. Not a word. I said, bruh, you should just start running. Start running. And while you're running, just rap. Just freestyle. Think he ever did that?
Nah.
Nah, ever did it. He didn't run a mile.
Damn.
So don't tell me you want to be a rapper. You want to be a rapper and you need help.
Yeah.
And when I'm giving you the tools to become a rapper, you don't want to do none of it. Yeah. You just want to write the words.
Yeah.
That's not, you could be, and I think, me, when he told me he wanted to be a rapper, I'm trying to make him an artist. I'm trying to make him a musician.
Right.
He wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
So we have to distinguish what we want to do. Do we want to be an artist or do you want to just make the music?
Right.
Because somebody could write you music and you could just recite it. That'll make you an artist. Have you ever used somebody else's bars?
Nah.
As a kid, you never take a couple lines from your favorite?
I mean, maybe it was like references, but I feel like, especially me being Virgo, it's all about like perfectionism, but also being original. So I feel like I was really self-critical about the innovation I was doing or the originality of the work. But then again, like a lot of melodies and even like rhyme schemes are very much like followed by people who've paid the path before.
Definitely. So I started writing 3rd or 4th grade. Just just little lines here and there. One of the first lines that I stole was like from 8 Mile. So it was like in the freestyle battles, I took like a couple of lines and put it like where it fit my flow or whatever. Yeah. There's a few lines that I bit when I was young, just because I like those lines. Yeah. I mean, and then growing up or coming up, looking back at it, I should say, people do that shit all the time. Yeah. You take a line or two from a different song, and it's fine. Yeah, it's fine because unless they know who it is, it's like you are, like you said, you pay respect to that person because you thought that line was so dope. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I might have stolen your lines when I was younger. Not no more. I can't use your lines now. I'm too mature in this writing stuff to be stealing lines at this point.
You remind me that I did take a couple Nas lines.
Come on, man! Come on, leaving me out here on the porch, man.
So the line was, "Made you look, you a slave to a page in my rhyme book."
Fact. And you took the. I was taking obscure lines. You took the whole hook.
Right after the good time.
Yeah, come on, man. How you take the hook, man?
I guess my kid self wasn't that serious.
So, when did you become Kid Cano? I mean, after you were born, you became Kid Cano, the artist.
That was Baby Cano.
Yeah, that was Baby Cano. Hey.
So I think how I got the name. Well, let's backtrack. So when I told you when I first wrote my first couple lines was 15, and that's because I was in Oklahoma City, and the reason why was because I grew up in a predominantly like low-income Latino, low-income Mexican community. Okay. And then I went to school that was pretty diverse, where it was a lot of students of color, not really white students, and if they were, they're Portuguese. And when I moved to Oklahoma City, it was like 80% white, like probably less than 10% Latino, and then probably like 15% black students, and then maybe like a couple like Asian, South Asian folks. Okay. But it was very much like white middle class neighborhood that I grew up in Oklahoma City. And because of those experiences, and also kind of like being quote unquote, like I guess in Middle America, South, there was like a lot of racial hostility, racist remarks, right? Like, especially when Obama was running for presidency.
Oh yeah.
Like I had a
didn't even think
teacher.
about
Yeah, I
that.
had a teacher who was like saying, "Oh, I will not vote for him," and his math teacher. And I thought about that today, and I was like, "Yo, like, it's fucked up that like people have these views and like are vocally saying that to young minds."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, why? Why aren't you voting for him?
Right. Let's dig deep.
And then they'll say the same reason why you are voting for him is the reason why I'm not voting for him. And I was like, it's fair. There's so many people voted for him because he was black. And so many people didn't vote for him because he was black.
Yeah.
So who's right?
Yeah. So just similar experiences like that. Just like the racial hostility, like me kind of being a introverted, quiet, like young Latino, young man in man of color in kind of like middle white America, put me into isolation, depression, and anxiety. And how I used to cope with it was I'm gonna be like very, very academically rigorous and like study my ass off, get the best grades, get the best GPA, which I was, and I did do. But the other expression outlet was the music, and the artist that spoke to me on a soul level, who told me that I wasn't alone, is Kid Cudi, and hence the birth of Kid Cano. So shout out Kid Cudi. That's my favorite fucking artist. I'm glad.
Shout out to Scotty, man.
Yep.
Shout out to Scotty, man.
Trying to dig people out from the death.
Shout out to Scotty, man. So, keeping on that Cudi. That year he came out, he was on the freshman cover that year, right?
Man on the Moon?
Yeah, he was on the freshman cover.
Okay.
It was him, the XXL, it was him.
Yeah, what year was that?
Asher Roth, B.O.B., and 7 other people. I went to the tour.
Oh, nice.
It was Cool Kid. No, not Cool Kids. It was Pac Div, B.O.B., Asher Roth, and Kid Cudi.
What year was this again? 2008?
Yeah, 8, 9. I think it was 9. It definitely was 9. We had just graduated.
That's fine.
It was the summer. Yeah, that was a incredible show. Cudi came out killing it.
Damn, that's prime time.
All of them was young on their first album.
Yeah.
The energy in that room was amazing. Yeah, I first heard of Cudi because the homie, maybe 07, 08, before the album dropped. And he was like, man, I just love this dude. He's a like a rhythmic genius. The way he arranges his sound is unlike anything I've heard.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to it. I'm like, yo, this dude is clean. Hearing him on the radio, like radio interviews and shows, just freestyling and rapping, and it's raw. It's all raw. And then that album came out. I remember, it was when I was, it was in a bout of like not knowing exactly what I was doing and who I was at that moment.
Yeah.
And it's something about just that album, the Man on the Moon album, that was vulnerable and honest. And two things the staple of Best Man Pod, the diagnosis, is honesty and vulnerability.
Yep.
So if anybody comes on here and they can't be honest or vulnerable, I don't want them on there. The episode would never air. And that Cudi, that Man on the Moon album, was both of those things. Didn't Common narrate it?
Yeah, it was such a beautiful narration. Like this, it was such a well thought out soundtrack to just like a new way of genre bending.
Definitely.
And also reminding, particularly I would say, young men to be honest with themselves, with their emotions, and honor it.
He was the most emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody else was still in the club and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all going through it.
Yeah, and that's why Cuddy spoke to me, and that's how the kid came in. And also, like, in terms of the identity piece, like, I also found out his middle name is Ramon, last name is Seguro, and his father is Mexican, either part Mexican or full Mexican. So, and then I'm sure you're noticing patterns about, like, identity piece.
Definitely.
And I just saw yesterday or today how Cypress Hill was recognized on the Hall of Fame, Hollywood, right, as the first Latino hip hop group. So I'm glad to see kind of like the progressions of Latino artists in hip hop, but also, like, I think there needs to be like a renaissance of like Latino artists who are very much paying wave to the culture of hip hop and recognizing that it is Black art, and how are we appreciating and appropriating.
Yeah, definitely. I think I still want to stay on Cuddy, man.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Ugh.
Solo Dolo.
Hired Chip the Ripper.
Yeah. Oh, I was
the first words, like, this should be my theme song.
Yes.
To life. Like, and anytime I hear that, no matter what mood I'm in, I am immediately at peace.
Yes.
As soon as I hear those, boom.
Yeah, the 808s. It's a good morning. Brought to you in Cleveland, Ohio.
And it's chilling.
Hello.
Oh man, Cuddy, man, you was a real one. So, where was your safe haven when you were in Oklahoma? How are you said you chose to be rigorous in your studies.
Yeah.
Was there friends? Was there anybody who you could confide in?
Yeah.
Out there?
Yeah. I think at first I tried to have my walls up.
Right.
Stay guarded. I think that's also part of like my Scorpio rising aspect in me. And I tried to not like get too close in friendships, like have more acquaintances, but eventually like I started getting gravitating with a couple of homies who very much were all about hip hop and like putting each other on about different artists, and just finding our truth and stories in there. So I wanna shout out a couple Oklahomies.
Talk about it.
Shout out Wani Kim. I think he's now based in South Korea. I want to shout out Mark. I know you're based somewhere else. And my homie Josh Crony. We used to write hip hop verses back and forth. Hip hop. We used to rhyme our conversations in class. So shout out to the Oklahomies. I know it has been a while since I reached out to you, but I just know that y'all still impact me. I'm grateful for you.
Y'all still the Oklahomies. Y'all gonna see this.
Yes.
Y'all still the Oklahomies. You know, distance and time, it really doesn't change anything when a bond is real.
Right.
It's people who I haven't seen in years who I could walk into the house right now and it'd be like they never left.
Damn.
Be like they never left. And that's how you know a friendship is strong and it's real. Like,
right.
We grow, we mature, we get older and all that.
Yeah.
Might have children.
Right.
Our priorities might be different, but as soon as we see each other, it's gonna click just like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's love. That's love.
That is love.
Yeah, I actually have my high school reunion this Saturday.
Oh, okay. You going?
I'm going. I talked so much shit. I was like, I'm not going to that bullshit. Because I went to a Catholic school, 10th and 11th grade, switched over to public school, 11th and 12th.
Okay.
So I graduated from the school that never felt was really my school.
Yeah.
I never really, coming in halfway gone.
Yeah.
Everybody got their friends already. I'm fitting in because, I'm with people that I know.
Yeah.
And now I'm with his partners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So people know me, I know them, but these ain't my friends.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't kick it with y'all.
Yeah.
Outside of the context of, with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be fun. I'm going there really just to do work, just to take pictures and record it, so me and him could laugh in another 10 years and be like, "Do you remember this bullshit? I told you I wasn't going to this bullshit, and this is the reason." I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun.
Yeah, showcase your magic.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah. I don't. It's just wild. I've been out of school for 10 years. It's like, what the fuck have I been doing? What the fuck have I been doing? And now, in the 10th year, I'm just starting to get on my train. And now I'm moving forward, and I see where I'm going now.
Well, congrats to you to boarding the train.
Yeah.
Some people let it pass.
Yeah, definitely. I was just doing things to survive because I got kicked out of the house when I was 18. So from 18 to now, it's just been trying to stay out of jail and trying to not be homeless. And I've been doing a hell of a job these past couple years.
Yeah.
The jail part, I'm cool, but the being homeless shit that's was a rocky slope at one point. Just moving from place to place, not having a room.
Yeah.
You know, I might be sleeping on the couch, or I might be, I used to sleep under my grandmother's kitchen table with a pillow and a blanket because I didn't have, and she didn't want to keep me up.
Yeah.
So, like, she kicked me out, moved into the one bedroom. She was living.
Yeah.
But now I'm not worried about surviving. I'm more so worried about evolving. Cause I'm gonna be okay. I know I'm gonna be okay. Now I'm gonna evolve from the person that I was.
Yeah.
And I have been.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing it, and I've been telling my friends, like, I've had this light turned on. And I'm walking down this hallway, and all the lights are on. And it's beautiful artwork all on the walls.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, yo, this was dark. Like, how much of this beautiful artwork did I miss in this dark hallway?
Yeah.
It's amazing, man.
End of the tunnel, there would be light.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. So, you find your safe haven with your homies.
Yeah.
Do you guys form a group?
We didn't form a group. We would just kind of just mess around writing, playing music in the car. Never really hung out outside of the school space. A part of it also was because at that time another safe haven was a restaurant that my parents and grandfather had. So that's the reason why we moved to Oklahoma City. My grandfather started one of the first authentic Mexican restaurants in Oklahoma City. And he asked my parents to help serve him up. Yeah. So almost every day after school, I would go back to the restaurant and either finish my homework, and when I do that, help out with the restaurant, right? Wash the dishes, serve, get the chips, sometimes collect the tips, and that would be my other safe haven.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't out in these Oklahoma City streets.
Nah.
OKC. Yeah, OKC streets, man.
Just 24th Street. Shout out 24th Street in Oklahoma City.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Did anybody of note come in?
Anybody
notoriety
to the restaurant? Like any incidents or anything? No,
just like oh my god, that's
no. Okay. It was very much like a family restaurant.
Okay.
So just very humble space. Sometimes mainly family. Some maybe community organizing work would sometimes happen in our salon area, and that's how I first started learning about organizing and a little bit about politics, particularly in the Latino community. But I was just more oh, cool, they're talking about politics.
Right.
Back to I don't know, let's say the massacre.
Yeah.
Because I remember actually behind my CD players at the time, and when when I didn't have money to buy my CDs, but so I had to convince my parents to.
Right.
But I usually have to go through my mom.
Right.
My mom was very like adamant about does it have cuss words? If it does, I'm not gonna buy that shit for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Walmart and you're gonna get the clean CD. So I have the clean CD of The Massacre.
That is disgusting.
Right? You can imagine how many times the silence.
Ain't got no pickup line. Get in my car. Like, what? Get in. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
Story about this.
Wow.
Brett. So, real quick.
Yeah.
The first, so like, my introduction to hip hop was my cousin. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
No, I
You're gonna join the
Yeah.
scene?
Okay.
Alright.
So,
Deeper dive into The Massacre.
right. No, it's not even into The Massacre,
Okay, all
man.
right.
My introduction to hip hop was my cousin Noé. He's from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Right. He moved to the States when he was like 17.
Uh-huh.
So he was already in high school. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to everything that's out here now.
Yep.
Because he had a wild life out in Mexico. He used to ride on he a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be in those buses.
Uh-huh.
And over there, the bus driver owns his bus.
Yeah.
So it's like, he'll hire my cousin, little kid, be like, hey, collect the fare from all these people. I'm driving.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, if you own your own bus, you're going to pimp it out. You got it all like neon and shit. There was sound systems. Like, it was a whole culture, bro. Like, it's crazy. So anyways, he comes to the States and he got a CD player. I don't got no type of like CD player, nothing, bro. Like you were saying, like my mom was very like, you're going to do good in school. You're going to listen to this, like all of that stuff. So I was like, all right. The Slim Shady LP drops. Right?
Let's go.
Right? You're like, what? And then, like, I just remember, I see my cousin, like, listen to the shit. I was like, all right, let me listen to it. He was like, yeah, sure. Just don't tell your mom. I was like, all right. So I listened to it. I listened to, like, Eminem, bro. Eminem was fire for these kids, bro.
Yep.
Because he gave you all the angst that your parents was telling you.
You gotta suppress.
So here he come. And I'm like, yeah. Brad, tell me why, like, I'm coming home, I'm listening to this CD, and my mom was like, hey, what you listening to? I was like, oh, just music. She was like, oh, let me see that. And I was like, oh, shit. She goes, puts it on the house, like, old school, 2 big-ass speaker, like, house system, bro.
Hilarious. Bitch, I'm gonna kill you!
Yes, bro! There was, Brad, you remember, there's a skit in there about him sucking off R. Kelly, bro. Or R. Kelly, like, sucking his, he was like, yeah, pass it to R. Kelly. And it's like sucking nuts, bro. And my mom is playing this on the house speakers, like, my dad is in the kitchen. And I'm my little ass, bro. I'm like, I'm 19. I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, no, bro.
When the aliens abduct me, it's not
right. So shit, they only lasted so long. Turned that shit off and was like, no,
yeah,
like you can't be listening to this. I was like, all right, and I still did, but that was my introduction.
Shout out to Slim Shady LP.
Shout out to the Slim Shady LP, the Eminem show. Yo.
That's
Angry
nice.
kids.
Yeah, honestly.
Back on my shit, bro.
Yeah. My mom's not a big Eminem fan for those reasons.
Yeah, right. Facts.
She's like, you can listen to Sade, you can listen to a lot of R&B soul, but don't listen to that cussing shit.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, here you go. Let me give you the uncut version of Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh, man. Yeah, The Massacre. The Massacre, man, was a great album because that was the height of the 50 Beefs.
Yeah.
He just took out like 5 different dudes on Piggy Bank.
Clickety, clank.
Yeah. He took out Jadakiss, Fat Joe, Ja Rule. Was he beefing game with that? No, he wasn't beefing game yet. I feel like it was 2 more people.
Ja Rule got murdered.
Oh man,
Never recovered.
it was just so much fun. Like hip hop was fun. Like at that time, because then you had the Jada Kids come back with a Checkmate. I remember the day that came out. Man, hip hop was so fun back then, man. You did it, baby. 1 million in a week. Like, he came on Go and he was like, you bought Mike Tyson's home. Like, he was going in on that man. And then Ja Rule came out with, we gonna clap back. We gonna clap. So, hip hop used to be so much fun, man.
Yeah, and those times I wasn't really listening to the respondents because I was like big on 50. I was like, I got you. Like, I'm gonna ride with where you're going. Fuck everyone else is trying to come at you.
Right.
Unless it's the game, y'all gotta figure shit out.
So you said the game. You said 50. You didn't say Lloyd Banks.
As influences,
Lloyd Banks is Afro Latino too.
Oh yeah, Puerto Rican. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I think, especially like hip hop starting out in New York and also having a lot of influence with Puerto Ricans being involved in the art form. Yeah. Like, I knew that was that. Yes, sure. Like, y'all are Latinos doing this work. Yeah. But I never saw Mexicans specifically do that.
Got it. So like, Fat Joe wasn't a big deal for you because that's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I mean, it's dope from like Latino perspective, and for me as like growing up in SoCal, Chicano culture, it was a little more distant. Okay,
so who was the LA Latino artist that you were listening to or that you enjoyed, if any?
I'm not sure if I have. I'm sure if I have one that comes to mind directly, but I know that there's one artist from San Diego I listened to a lot growing up was Lil Rob.
Yo, I was I was about to say that in jest. I was like, what, Lil Rob?
Yeah.
That's in these summer nights, I'll be ready to party.
Oh, hey, ain't nothing like them summer nights. Hey, I don't know, just like, you know, he's smooth.
Talk about it.
He's smooth, like, I don't know, like he painted the picture of SoCal, like the stereotype of palm trees and the beach and like kicking it with your homies and your partner, your girl, like that. It was like, wow, he captured it well.
Baby Bash.
Baby Bash, I was into Baby Bash as well. My cousin and I, it's funny, I joke because, so my cousin and I said we do hip hop together. And we go by Senna, SCNA, Daniel Cano. And we joke how he's Baby Bash and I'm Frankie J.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I said Baby Bash, I was like, you kind of look like Frankie J, man. I didn't want to say it, so I'm glad you said it.
Shout out Frankie J. I need some, like, vocalist training. Like, yo, let's connect. And Baby Bash, like, you and my cousin, y'all vibe. I know it. Yeah. But yeah, Sugar, how you get so fly? Honestly, we referenced that track in one of our debut songs.
Okay. So your first group is you and your cousin?
You and my cousin, yeah.
So when did that happen?
This happened during high school so my senior year in high school is when I moved back. Okay. To California. But actually right before I moved back, that's when I found out, you know, back when Audacity was used, and MySpace. I don't know if y'all youngins know what the hell that is. We're dinosaurs out here.
Ain't no youngsters listening to this. Ain't no youngsters listening to this.
Well, I'm going to put on some youngsters on this.
Yeah, please.
This is some intergenerational wisdom.
Please,
gems. But yeah, right before I moved back from Oklahoma City to LA County, and MySpace was popping, I started putting on music. I started putting on freestyles on my MySpace page. A lot to like Drake, just because like I was experimenting with my voice, melodies and shit. But around that time, I found out that my cousin was also doing music. And then we started sending Audacity files back and forth. And then like I was the one who was mixing and mastering it, and so we started collectively, you know, doing work. But it didn't become official until us actually saying like let's do work together when we were at college. So this was like three years ago.
What college did you go to?
I went to UC Irvine,
okay,
Orange County, and my cousin went to multiple colleges. He was in New Mexico, small like private school.
Right.
I think it was Hobbs, New Mexico, and then he ended up being in and also in Orange County, Biola, and I think Hope University.
Okay. Yeah. So you start writing 15.
15, yeah.
You don't make a group and start making real music until
like
18, 19.
18, 19, yeah.
Okay, so now you have a couple of years to hone your craft.
Yep.
How do you change as an artist from 15 to 18?
How did I evolve?
Yeah.
I think 15 to 18, I was learning more about the crafts. Mm-hmm. I was learning about who inspires me to write.
Right.
And that was Nas, that's M, that's 50, that's Game.
Right.
I think I was learning about who was I influenced by,
okay.
right? But I started, and it's funny because I really started as like a very much like a boom bap rapper in terms of my lyricism, like how I structured my words.
Yeah.
I was very much like, I'm gonna do the most complex shit ever because I'm a fucking genius.
Right.
I'm at the point where it was like, but sometimes it's gonna just fly over people's head.
Yeah.
So I had to
learn.
That's
the Lupe syndrome.
Yep. So 18 to 20, I started learning about how to do the balance.
Yeah.
Right, like how to come up with messages that resonates, but also come up with little complex rhyme schemes that are like, oh, cool, like you do have a craft, like you're polished.
Okay.
But what that meant was that I had to keep on writing, and it was hard being in college because I was a first generation college student, first in my family, and my cousin actually, he was the first to graduate from the whole extended family. Mind you, we have. From our side of the family, 12 uncles and aunts. Okay. It's a big-ass family. And for him to be the first to graduate for the 4-year degree, it's huge. And then that was me 2-3 weeks later. Okay. But I had to learn how to make time for it.
Yeah. So so once 18, it's like, okay, I know who inspires me.
Yeah.
Now, what do I want to talk about at 18?
So 18, I was in love. I had my first, I would say like my first love. Mm-hmm. So around that time it was high school, about to graduate, so I was very much on the Drake, like just melodies and just like messaging. So I think that was a big inspiration, and like I have a couple videos, but you're not gonna find it because I've like put it on private. But shout out. 2010, 2011 Drake for helping me understand the feels. Yeah. J. Cole.
Okay.
So about the feels, from the feels that's Drake, but J. Cole taught me more about being a scholar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And preparing me to go to college. When he says to all my college kids out there, starting there from first semester, packing up your suitcases, filling up your dresser. I was like, fuck, this is going to be me.
Yeah. Yeah, Cole is the god of college kids. Asher Roth tried to be.
Yeah.
But
you got a certain demographic.
Yeah, he was more frat.
Yeah.
Cole was a scholar.
Yeah.
Cole was saying, hey, let's get through this college shit.
Yep. Yep.
Dollar and a Dream.
Yep.
What's your first song about? Not the one that you wrote, the one that you actually recorded.
That I actually probably released. Mm-hmm. It was about it was to a J. Cole beat.
Okay.
It was dealing with the relationship I was in high school, and it was about there was like some differences and like a fight and like, you know, thinking about, I don't trust issues, and that's what it was about.
Okay.
It was about that. It was about talking about me and like proving myself that like I can do this art. Right. But it was pretty much me venting, and I shouted out some of the homies who I did from Oklahoma in that song. But yeah, it was back to the topic. I think it was the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you let that person hear it?
Yeah. Did they? I don't know. Maybe. I can't remember. But I know I posted up on MySpace and like all the social media stuff that I had at the time. So one way or another, we didn't run into it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm sure they heard it.
And you've always been Kid Cano.
I've kind of. I used to go by like D.A. Cano because my middle initial is A for Anthony. But Kid Cano didn't morph into.
Your name is ill. Like, if you just, like, your name is ill, bro, because...
Appreciate it.
How you go from the Cano to Kid Cano? Like,
yo, you want me to tell you one of my passwords?
Please, tell millions of my fans.
So, you know what we're talking
your
about.
Your password.
I mean, I don't use it anymore, so good luck trying to use it. But, about my earlier references, G-Unit. I used to go by D-Unit 25. Got born on the 25th. So, I just wanted to be a G-Unit so bad.
G-Unit was fire, boy.
G-Unit with
the
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah,
those are the times.
Yeah, they ran hip-hop.
Stunt 101.
Oh, my God.
I have a lyric that I wrote last year. We'll talk about it when I went through like the spiritual awakening. I took time off for my mental health.
Yeah.
One of the lines says, 50 taught me how to stunt.
Yep, definitely. Who had the hardest bars on? Who had the hardest verse on Stunt 101?
I mean, I had to be honest. I think Lloyd Banks does.
Okay.
But I'll be biased and be like, oh, but 50's the man.
Throwback jersey with throwback Nike.
But I think Lloyd Banks always came with the bars.
Buck went crazy.
Damn,
Buck went crazy.
I definitely need to listen to Buck more.
Oh man, Young Buck's solo stuff was fire. His first out, that Welcome to Cashville was ill. Buck,
good Buck on that one, or that another?
Yeah, that was the first. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a lot of Southern influence too.
Yeah.
So I was able to hear that in the circles I was in.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep.
So you come home, you graduate, you go to college.
Yep.
When do you get into? You told me your that planning and those politics came from you just trinkles in the restaurant.
Yeah.
When does that become? Full time. When does that become, school. Hey, I'm actually interested in this?
Yeah. So there was the restaurant, right? And then there was May Day, right? When there was a lot of, nationally, there was laws about immigration. And my grandfather, the one who got the restaurant, took the day off. He said, we're closing and we're going to go to the rally in the capital in Oklahoma City. That was my first time I was involved in like a political rally space. So I think that was also another seed that started planted. But when it came to when I want to do this more full time and learn about community service, we look like to organizing our communities to give back, to pave people that look like me from communities like mine into schools, into particularly colleges. Right. Didn't happen into UC Irvine, and that was because I was able to like get tutoring service and like academic advising to learn how do I navigate this fucking system, and for it being helpful, being like, wow, like I thought I know a lot, but I can always get humbled and learn that these systems are so complex and they're meant to like not have us here. And once I started learning that from others and people teaching me about that's why you need to pay it forward, then I started getting involved from a student kind of like angle to make way for the next group of students in mentorship.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Okay. Where do you see yourself? This is college, right?
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself doing these politics and is there any, I don't want to say backlash, but is there any time that you're like, this is not for me?
I'll tell you what wasn't for me. I think the whole involved with like education and like teaching. I think I've always had that in me, like kind of being like that teacher, philosopher, like helping others. But when you said what's not for me was when I was trying to figure out my major. And so I went in UC Irvine as an undecided, undeclared.
Right.
And a lot of students of color actually have that experience because, like I said, they tend to be the first in the family to do it. And I started...
like, I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm here. And then it's like, well, what am I here to do?
Right.
And the first thing that comes to mind is to make money, right? And so I didn't listen to my heart.
Right.
And I was like, okay, logically, I'm going to study economics.
Right.
Logically, I'm going to study business.
Right. That has money in it.
Yeah, right? And I was like, all right, let's do this. And I took a couple econ courses, and I was like, I can do this. Like, it's pretty easy. And I took a couple like math and calculus courses, and I was like, yeah, I can also do it. But this doesn't speak to me.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just doing busy work.
I'm just doing busy work. And I was like, that's when I realized this is not for me.
Right.
When I started taking other classes such as like ethnic studies classes, Chicano studies classes, psychology, sociology.
The classes that actually matter.
The classes that actually fucking matter. Yeah. That's when I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
Right. This is the way of the world. Instead of this is formulas.
This is formulas just to get you by and to weed you out.
Yep. And
then so you can be I don't want to like throw shade on others doing that, but like in the way you can be boxed, right? Like a robot in terms of now we're going to ship you out, like a package factory.
Yeah. I mean that goes into the just what the school system was built on, but that's not this conversation. So you switch over, and then you switch from economics to what?
Mentally, I switched my majors like 10 times. When I officially changed my major from undecided, it went to psychology.
Okay.
Psychology, social behavior, and social policy, public service.
Okay. And is there a specific reason why you did that? Yeah,
so I always knew that I like psychology, understanding the mind and how people work, how group dynamics work. And then when I was okay, this makes sense. But it's a very popular major at that school.
Right.
So classes are huge. It's hard to have one-on-one connects with the faculty.
Right.
And then I heard about this other major from one of my friends who was an academic advisor. Shout out Kathy. She told me about a new major that came out called Social Policy Public Service, and they talked about 3 values, right? Service, passion, leadership.
Okay.
And
those are great pillars.
And that's exactly what they're called. The pillars.
Oh, look at me! Look at me, guys! Oh!
So through that major is how I was able to make connections to faculty mentorship. Yeah. Particularly like Latina faculty who can say like, hey, you're smart, you can do this. Like I'm gonna test your abilities through research, through leadership opportunities. Like I'm gonna do this blueprint for you, but it's up to you to decide.
Right.
Just like when you said to practice to rhyme when you're running.
Right. Because if you plan on being a rapper, you're gonna do a lot of performing.
Yep.
You need stamina. You need to be able to, if you need to do an hour set, and you can't do that if you're out of breath.
Yeah.
You can't even stand in the booth and rap if you're out of breath. And the way that his bars were set up, it was a lot of double time.
Yeah.
And he's stumbling over his words.
Yeah.
And they're meshing together because there's no space.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to use his breath yet. So just run. Or put a pencil in your mouth, bite down on it, and rap your bars. Just giving them like little, like Mr. Miyagi type wax on, wax off thing.
That's discipline.
That he didn't want to do. And then I showed him, I was like, hey, I get what you're doing. But there's also different ways to rap.
Yeah.
So I put the beat on and I just started rapping.
Yeah.
And I'm showing you like, yo, there's different. Switch up your style.
Yeah.
Find a different cadence. Find a different pocket in the beat. Find a different flow in the beat.
Yeah.
Write a rap, trash it, and write it again. A different way.
Yep.
Don't just think that your first draft is going to be the dopest shit you ever wrote.
Right. Yep.
That first draft is usually just getting off the thoughts in your head.
Yep.
Then you refine it.
Yep.
I could write a rap right now, and then when I'm saying it, I'm scrapping a good third of it because it doesn't even fit in the box of the. It sound good in my head,
right?
But I can't say these words in succession.
Yeah, it's different when you use your breath.
Yeah. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They just want to be famous. They see all the lils coming up, and they think it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not, bro.
No,
it's not, bro. You got to make a song damn near every day to just stay alive. Multiple songs every day just to stay alive in this game.
Yeah.
You have to be putting out music, and if your music is subpar,
it's not gonna last.
Not gonna last. Definitely not gonna last. And for him, because he was so close to me, I wanted him to have longevity because I saw the talent. You have to turn your talent into a skill. You have to grow your talent and make it into a skill.
Yeah.
Talent you could have just because God gave it to you.
Right.
But skill takes practice.
Yeah,
skill takes time.
Discipline.
Skill takes discipline.
Hard work, dedication,
all
patience. Shout out Nip. Rest in power.
Man. Marathon is continuing right now. I was trying to put him on a marathon. He wasn't even trying to run. He wasn't even trying to run one lap. He couldn't even make it to the victory lap. He wouldn't even run one lap. But I digress.
Stop roasting your student.
Yeah. So pause it. Check up.
311. Action.
So college, what did you learn outside of the classrooms from college? What is your college experience? What did you get from your college experience?
I learned.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't like to say I'm sorry to cut you off, or not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because I do mean to cut you off. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about college. My man has on beer pong socks.
Oh.
My guy has on beer pong socks.
Cider
pong socks.
This is the epitome of what? Yeah, I love college.
Facts, dog. Like,
I guess I was meant to wear these for this interview.
Yes, facts, man.
You're gonna relive your college days, son.
That is facts, man. That's wonderful.
So what? Besides beer pong, what else?
Right, cider pong, apple cider pong, water pong. Yeah.
What else did I learn in college?
Yeah.
I think from like a philosophical, historical understanding of the true U.S. history and world history that the public schools systems and just K through 12 in general don't teach.
Yeah.
About how violent this country is from its inception.
Right.
And how it connected it, academia, and connected that to hip hop.
Yeah.
Because hip hop was already telling the lived realities on the ground about what's going on.
Right.
So I think college helped to bridge that for me. It also taught me about my leadership and how no one essentially is born a leader, but everyone has gifts.
Right.
And you just got to tap into it. And sometimes it takes others to help you see that light and shine, and recognize that you have a shine and
facilitate that out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody.
That's educator's work.
Yeah. Yes. And I work with middle school. And every day, like, I see something in someone. Like, I had this one little girl who I'm doing a music class.
Nice.
So I'm telling her, I'm like, she sings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, She's like, oh, I'm gonna leave early today. I'm like, you're not going nowhere. She's like, I don't want to go to that. I'm like, so what? I don't care what you want to go to. Like, you're gonna go, and you're gonna perform and all that.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm not. Whoa. You can't make me. Whoa. I'm like, man. You about to only be in middle school one time. You're an 8th grader. You about to go to high school.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you shy away from your gifts.
That's right.
And she was quiet.
Ooh.
She was like, I hate when you right. She's like, fuck you. I was like, hey, man, hey. I'm just telling the truth, man. I don't care what you talk about, but I bet you be here later.
Yeah.
I bet you be in this class later on, though.
Yep. Got you curious, right?
Yeah. She's like, I hate when you right. But yeah, we it's beautiful for someone to see something in you.
Yeah.
That you don't even know is there, and you just watching it come out of you.
Yep.
So what did you who was that person for you?
I think on the faculty's perspective, it would be Dr. Jenna Castellanos and Dr. Cesar Cereces. They're very much like pioneers in like Latino faculty at UCI and really like taking care of students of color, particularly like in the social sciences and teaching them how to be more of a scholar in the academic setting, and that yes, you belong in these universities, and if you want to, you also belong to be a professor because we need people like you.
Definitely.
So when the younger generation is there, it's you reciprocated.
I was at work today and I saw they were having a teacher fair in the cafeteria. Ask me how many black and brown teachers I saw.
3.
I wish.
Wow.
I saw 0. I saw 0. I saw no black men. I saw no black women. I saw no Latino women. I saw no Latino men. I did not see us.
Yeah.
I saw people who were going to maybe do 1 year at this school and be sick and tired of these children. I saw people who aren't from this neighborhood who are going to then talk to and treat the kids who I love wrong.
Yeah, that's not right.
Because they don't know how to be involved with them on a personal level.
Yep.
And it's sickening.
Yeah.
It was sickening. It was sickening. So for you to have those two people, it's beautiful. What did they bring out of you? What did they teach you?
They taught me to stop being a wallflower. I have a voice. Use it.
Definitely. Say that again.
I have a voice. Use it. You have a voice. Use it. They say if you don't use it, you lose it.
Your voice goes weak.
But we study going on a cruise ship, riding on a loose leaf, taking it back to the streets. But back to your conversation. They taught me to stop being shy, stop being quiet, and I have important ideas that I should be communicating to others because they should be listened to.
Definitely.
And so public speaking was huge for me.
So that got you able to perform and get up in front of a microphone.
Yeah. Like, we were put in... It's funny. So, one of the mentors I mentioned, Dr. Cereces, he has a summer program for pretty much predominantly low-income students of color to train them. It's academic boot camp. To train them about, this is what it's like to be in grad school.
Right.
5 weeks, you have classes Monday through Saturday. Sunday, you debate. So... school is your life. School is your life.
Right.
And we're gonna make sure that you're disciplined.
Right.
And so, when we had those debates, like, I was very, very nervous because... in Oklahoma, like, I didn't want to talk because just the hostility at times.
Right.
Like, just kept me in my shell.
Right, I don't want no problems.
Nope. Yeah. Like, I'm in my own zone, I'm writing, I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You can't get that far in college.
Right.
While I'm also seeing other people doing other leadership things. And it's like, wait, I should be doing this. But, like, doing debates about different, like, social issues, political issues forced me to, learn how to analyze current issues, but articulate it clearly, resonate with an audience, know about my presence when I speak. And Dr. Ceres is not, he's not shy, he's honest. He will tell you his feedback in your public speaking. So we got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I bet.
A lot of feedback.
What was the best / worst feedback that you got from them?
Best / worst, let's put them both. I think for me it was to genuinely connect with people. Like, look in people's eyes and talk to them.
Right.
Or it was more like, I have the words, and sometimes I would speak a little fast.
Right.
So I got critiqued about that a lot. Like, you speak too fast sometimes. But genuinely, like, connect with people, look into their eyes, connect to them on a very personal level. Right. Which now I know is a soul level.
Definitely. Connect to people on a soul level.
Yeah.
You graduated college?
Graduated college 2016. I was a 5th year. I did 5 years there. It's common, so...
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to my 5th years.
Yeah. So after college, what happened?
After college... before it was ending, I was trying to figure out what the hell to do, right? It was like, I'd done all this work, I got involved in different capacities, started organizations, like worked with a lot of different student communities. I had to figure out what did I want to do as career-wise. But I knew the 3 pillars that we mentioned, service, leadership, and the last one. But I started looking into... Passion.
Yep.
Exactly. I started looking into policy fellowships.
Okay.
Because in my undergrad, I also got involved with being able to intern in DC for about 3 months, and that's when I performed my first open mic.
Right.
So I was able to test that side of me. But yeah, I ended up landing a health policy fellowship with the Green Line Institute. They were based in Berkeley for about 10 plus years, and then while I was there as a fellow, they got a new place in Oakland, downtown Oakland. So that's what brought me up to the Bay.
Okay.
After graduating.
So now you're in the Bay. Have you been in the Bay before?
Before moving up, I was only here twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that? Is it a culture shock? Is it a shell shock? How does that feel now that you're full-time resident?
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Also, where were you in the Bay? Where were you staying in the Bay?
So when I first moved out here, I was San Jose, I think.
Okay. But then we just say San Jose is not the Bay?
Yeah.
We just say that.
So, I fell in the trap.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, at that time I was with an ex-partner.
Okay.
So I was living with them for a little bit. But I actually, when I finally, and that commute from fucking San Jose to Berkeley is wild.
God.
Right?
Every day?
Every day, wake up at like 5, maybe 6.
Are you driving?
No, we drove up to the BART station, and then I took BART all the way up to Berkeley.
What BART station?
Whatever the nearest one was at the time. I don't think the San Jose was one in there at that time.
Fremont.
Yeah, I think Fremont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. So, and I'm not a morning person.
And you gotta get up early.
I'm like, fuck, this is my intro to adulting.
Oh my God.
Could I just stay in college so I could keep doing some cider pong?
What is happening?
But that was temporary.
Hold on. Hey, San Jose to Berkeley every day is dedication.
That was for about a month and a half.
No. Close up. No. I'm not doing it. I quit. Okay?
Y'all not paying me enough for this.
Never have paid me enough for this, man. Get out of here. Ew. That is disgusting.
Yep.
So what are you doing in Berkeley at that point?
So at that point, So the Green Line Institute, basically, it's a nonprofit that focuses on undoing the racist policy of redlining.
Okay.
And redlining is when banks draw out certain sections of cities throughout the country about which areas should not be invested. And those are communities of color, black and brown, low-income communities. Mm-hmm. Those are the communities where there's not a lot of resources, and then they're putting a lot of, like, places that or companies that pollute the neighboring area.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Give me an example of a polluted company.
Like Chevron.
Richmond Refinery.
Yep, and we're right here in like,
Richmond Refinery.
the heart of it.
Right. Okay.
So that's their mission, and what a part of their mission is investing in young leaders of color to be the next policymakers or researchers, or just thought leaders to create equity.
Okay.
And so they have a leadership development program that's for a year, and there was 5 of us, and we're all from across the different places of the country, and that's what I was doing out there. And I focus specifically on supporting young men of color to get them placed in jobs within the health sector.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Polluting the neighborhood, polluting the community. I believe the fire was in 89, the refinery fire. Am I right? 89, and it caused a lot of chaos to where in the upcoming years, they made this law or this bill or something that if you were a mother or if you were a child born in 89, when you turn 18, you got a check.
Yeah.
Because they fucked up so bad that they basically like, here's reparations for us fucking up.
Yep.
So if you lived in Richmond and you were born in 89, at 18 years old, you got a check. That's dope. And it's fucked up that it happened to you.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, you might be fucked up.
Yeah.
But we don't know. So take this bread.
Yep. Here's your death discount.
Yeah.
And it's all tax sponsored.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's another disgusting thing.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. So what did you learn while you were out here? While you were doing that and helping those young men?
Yeah. My role was very much playing a researcher and doing writing to write about different issues, but more than that was playing the facilitator role.
Okay.
And so one thing I was grateful to be a part of was that in the Green Lining space, when they finally moved to Oakland, we had a convening of like Alameda County, folks from the city of Oakland, Kaiser, other like health institutions or health providers to get together and say, okay, there's a dire crisis of young men of color not being able to make it into the schools, into higher education, or falling into the school to prison pipeline. But we need to give them jobs. And health being a field that continues to grow and is relatively well paying, we should be giving these jobs to young men of color. So my role was having them coming up with questions that have them like strategize to come up with solutions.
How did that affect you? Like, how did your work grow you as a person?
I think like internally it taught me to I was usually the youngest person in the room, and I was leading and facilitating these conversations with people who have work experience longer than I've been alive.
Wow.
And it taught me that I have this ability to make people think and work together and come up with answers and solutions.
Right.
And I haven't thought about that, but you saying this helps me articulate actually that moment, how it helped me grow. It just taught me and that's why I say I'm a wounded healer, and how I feel like I've been attracted to spaces where I'm being able to connect people, and work to something better, whether that is policy or like internal healing. Right.
That's definitely because I've said it multiple times. I tell my kids all the time, like, yo, I left a job that was making me double what I make here just because I love y'all. Just because I want y'all to be better people. Just because I want to have my hand and say, hey, you're okay.
Right.
Don't let this bullshit stop you from what you want to do.
Right.
And they respect it for that. They love me for that. They love me for that. I walk in the classroom every day and you would think I'm a celebrity. I'm getting 25. They call me Mozzie.
Uh-huh.
Mozzie. Or on the opposite side is, oh, here go Mozzie. Half of them love me, half of them is roast me, but that's how they show us love.
Yep.
So it's beautiful every day. Every day I come in there and I feel loved.
Yeah.
I feel love, and I can give love every single day.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
That's amazing.
So did you work at that same job this whole time, or?
No. So in the fellowship, like I said, it's 1 year, so there's an expiration date.
Right.
A couple of my fellows did stay on and were able to do full time past it. And then 3 of us, kind of parted our own ways. And I remember, and it's funny because I met with one of my friends and former coworkers who, in that time when I was looking for my next step, she was very pivotal and like plugging me into different organizations.
Okay.
But I also was trying to figure out what did I want to do.
Right.
Because in this role, it taught me about like facilitating and like policy research, but I was like, I'm not sure if I love this. I love the idea of this. I love the community and the people I work with because they invest in me.
Right.
But I wasn't sure exactly what I needed. So I remember probably like July or August, I told my supervisor, like, hey, like, I'm kind of trying to figure out what's the next step. But what I do know is that I have really enjoyed the Bay Area, specifically Oakland. And we were saying how I used to live in San Jose.
Right.
But I moved to West Oakland for about 2 months.
Okay.
And then the homeowner sold the house. And then so I ended up moving closer to downtown, closer to the Kaiser. But like living in those areas really like taught me a lot about different experiences, right? Yeah. So we can also talk about that, but
yeah, definitely talk about it. So what were those different experiences?
Different experience, yeah. So like moving to West Oakland taught me about, first of all, like the history about Oakland, right? And when every time I told my family members, oh yeah, I'm moving to the Bay, I'm gonna be working in Berkeley, but I might move to Oakland. They're like, oh, like be careful, dangerous, like be safe, all this stuff, right? And when I went to West Oakland, like there's some parts of the cuts,
there's pockets,
right? There's parts that definitely are rough, and when I say different experiences, I feel like it was worse than conditions that I've seen in my communities going on, Latino community, right? So just knowing how Black communities had different housing and neighborhood experience conditions than I had.
Right.
So that was one. And I also had to learn more about even like confronting my biases. And like walking around and like thinking like, oh, am I going to be attacked or mugged?
Right.
And and being like, why am I assuming these things?
Right.
Is it because others are telling me about it?
Right.
So I had to.
Have you gotten robbed?
No.
So that was just all.
This was all learned.
Right.
It was all learned, and the only time, it's a lot of like anti-Black racism that has been taught by like my grandparents, passed on, and I had to learn how to undo it. And the only time I had like a quote unquote like argumentative, random like altercation with someone was with the older white guy. So I think we kind of know the demographics about people who like we should be a little more concerned about.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not us that you need to worry about. You could walk through the hood all day long. You see, exactly. It was an older white man.
You gotta be street smart too. Like,
yeah, definitely, because you could get 8 out here, but it's not like that everywhere. It's not like that. And really the problem comes between people that know each other. It's never really just this random person. Let's go get this random person.
One-off person. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more so I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
he did something to me.
Yeah.
I want his money.
Uh-huh.
Because he'd been flashing around me and he might have taken a client of mine or something like that. So it's all real petty.
Yeah.
It's not just randomly attacking people. No. Even though, we had a really high death toll, probably 2016, 2017, 2015. I'm not hearing those stories as much now. I'm not hearing the fact that we had 3 or 4, homicides or murders or whatever like that, that often. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it every now and then. I might see it, here and there, but not the way it was a few years ago.
Right.
And I'm glad. I'm glad that it calmed down a little bit. I believe in Chicago, 20 people were shot in the span of 3 days. Maybe last weekend, a weekend ago.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
Gotta stop.
It's ridiculous, man. It's like, how all y'all motherfuckers got guns, man? Like, stop.
We know how.
Nah, yeah, we definitely know.
We know how guns came in the community.
The bad luck trucks, man. The bad luck trucks toss boxes off the back. Shout out to Lupe.
It's like Santa Claus.
Yeah. Here you go. We don't make guns. How do we get guns in the community? We don't make these things. It was given to us.
Uncle Sam Claus.
We don't know the plug in Colombia. How we getting cocaine? It was given to us.
Yep.
We don't got the plug.
Y'all noticing patterns?
It was given to us. The hate you gave. Come on. The hate you gave, man. You gave it. You gave it. You know who I'm talking to. So, living in Oakland.
Yep.
How do you grow in Oakland?
I grow by confronting my biases.
Okay.
I remember, I grow on a spiritual and personal level because first, I felt a lot of guilt coming here, especially in Oakland because I don't have family ties here.
Right.
All my family's in Southern California. So I felt like an outsider coming in, especially when we talk about this crisis of displacement and gentrification. I'm like, what's my role in this?
Yeah.
And it was tough. But what it taught me was I need to learn about the history. Where I'm at. You gotta learn the history. And you gotta be connected with people who know the history, who've lived the history.
Definitely.
So I think that was one part of the learning experience. Another part was, I had this wild experience where I went to a First Friday and it was really good vibes, right? Just checking all the tabling and I was out with some coworkers and I remember purchasing some bar soaps from Clean 360.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
I'm not.
Clean 360. So they're a nonprofit that works with formerly incarcerated individuals, and they create natural bar soaps.
Oh wow!
And just natural cleansing products.
Yeah.
That is both good for your body but eco-friendly.
That's dope.
So taking away out of the bar.
Shout them out again.
Clean 360. Shout out Clean 360. They do beautiful work.
Definitely.
Right. And I remember purchasing it, and then I went out. I think I went to the city that night and got pretty drunk.
Apple juice.
Had a good amount of apple juice,
Yeah.
apple cider. I remember waking up and being like, "Oh, where the fuck is my debit card?"
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing a couple voicemails on my phone, and then it was someone saying I forgot their name, but they said, "Hey, I have your debit card. You left it. We can meet. Call me back and we can figure out when to meet."
Right.
But at first I was like, "This is a prank. What is going on?" Right. But no, sure enough, it was someone who was from the from that booth.
Oh, okay.
And they had it. And when I went up and picked it up, or I remember walking to it was on Broadway.
Okay.
And there's a lot of dealerships, right?
Right.
And I couldn't find it on the Google Maps, so I asked one of the dealership person. It was this older white guy, And I was like, hey, do you know where Clean 360 is at? Like, here's the address. And like, oh, I never heard of it.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for like, I forgot his name, but it was like Arabic sounding.
Okay.
And the white guy was like, oh, are you sure you should trust him? And I was like, he's like, do you know this person?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but he has my card,
Right.
and I want to connect with him.
Definitely.
So, you know, there's a different intentions behind his stuff.
Yeah.
And I could have fell for it.
Right.
Right? Where I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, I should live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose not that. I chose to put faith
Right.
and love.
Right.
And what happened was when I got there, the person who called me said, oh, I have your card. He was like, here you go. I remember you left it. And I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I was doubting whether I should go over here and trust this process. Because of like stereotypes and people taught me.
Definitely.
And he was like, you know, that's why this job's important, because 10 years ago, I would have taken your card.
Facts. I was one of them. 10 years ago. Now, today, here you go. Take your card.
So that painted a picture of like, this is why this work is important.
Yeah.
Especially when I was talking about getting people to come up with strategies for jobs
Right.
for our communities. Look at what that simple interaction did.
Right.
And it gave me a lot of faith in just others and just the universe. So I think I was learning more to confront my biases, but also I went through like spiritual awakening out here.
Okay.
Action.
So now you're in Oakland. You've been in Oakland now. You've helped men older than you, and you've led and facilitated men older than you. Now you've readjusted your biases from that fear. Leaving that fear behind.
Right.
What happens next?
That's when I started learning about, or digging deep about what is the impact I want to make.
Right.
What is the purpose? What is my purpose in terms of my special gifts?
Right.
To leave on this planet before I go and from physical space. And to me, it started all clicking after I finished my work with the Green Line Institute. I ended up working with the UC Student Association, so helping with student organizing.
Okay.
And so I work from all the UC campuses, particularly those in student government spaces. So just like how I was invested in the fellowship, now I was the one paving it back and telling, reaffirming student leaders about their importance in this work, especially when they're meeting with UC administration.
Right.
Like the president or the vice provost, whatever. Like, you all know what it's like to be student on this campus.
Right,
They haven't been
right.
students for X amount of years. Tell them your story.
Definitely.
And be prepared.
Right.
So that was, I was able to do part of my work. And I still continued the leadership development route, and I got involved with the different opportunity to connect my passion with hip hop to mental health. So
what does that look like?
So there's this really, really dope organization in Oakland. Shout out Beats Rhymes Life, BRL Inc. They just trademarked the words, the phrase hip hop therapy. So that's huge. And they actually started off doing work. I think it was in Berkeley High, and that's how G-Eazy came up.
Right.
So G-Eazy, once you watch this, remember to pay back where what helped grow you.
Yeah, G-Eazy. Pay it back, Brad. Talking to you, G-Eazy.
But yeah, Beats Rhymes Life, hip hop therapy. So in this program fellowship, it's a 1-year thing as well, but it's instead of being it's national instead of being local and state, and I get to connect with 100 young people from across the country.
Okay.
And they have to work on a project about social justice, how they want to impact it. And I know doing education work, but like I said, I want to connect my passion with hip hop as well.
Right.
And that's how I heard about Beats Rhymes Life. I attended this showcase where they do mental health service providing work, but it's very innovative where they're holding like healing spaces, and teaching students how to write, teach students how to produce, and then eventually perform. So at the end of their curriculum, they have a showcase
Okay.
where they perform their work. And I attended one, and I was in tears. I was in tears, and I asked myself, why am I in tears so much? And it just let me know that it was a frequency that vibrated with me very, very, very powerfully.
Yes.
And so I knew that I wanted to get involved with this magic. I mean, so through that work, I was able to meet with Beast Rhymes Life and said, hey, check that your showcase. It's amazing.
Right.
Y'all have a lot of magic in your process.
Right, definitely.
How are you documenting the process? So similarly to what you're doing right now, I worked with them and we came up with an idea about a campaign called #HipHopHeals.
Okay.
Because of the hip hop therapy work, and it's a 3, 4, 5 minute video about documenting different participants' healing process and journey through their curriculum.
That's amazing.
And that's something that they can showcase, obviously, to community members, to city officials, to Kaiser, like corporations, to show them, look at the dope work you're doing, and to promote it.
How did you heal?
Through hip hop.
Through hip hop.
It helped me find my voice and express myself.
Okay.
Creatively. And I was saying how college I was taught to do public speaking in a larger setting.
Right.
But with the hip hop, when I started creating in Oklahoma City, it taught me how to really express myself and all those things I suppressed.
Right.
To let it out, and to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I wasn't okay and I put that in a song, then that is okay.
Yeah, my best rhymes are when I'm fucking sad and depressed. That's when I make the dopest shit. I'm like, I feel like shit. Let me write about it. And it comes out amazing.
Yeah. Because it's honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the easiest.
It's the easiest. And people relate to it. It's just, we're finally breaking the stigma, I think.
Yeah.
As like society, I think as men, we're finally
definitely
saying that this is something we should be talking about.
Yeah. Whereas Cuddy was talking about, these are my inner demons. These are my nightmares. These are my daymares.
Yep.
And you had on the other side, Drake is like, these are my insecurities.
Yep.
These are
the doubts.
These are my doubts. These are my fears. I love her and she doesn't love me the way I want her to love me. And it's all vulnerability.
Yep.
And that made it okay for music to say, oh, you can talk about how you're feeling.
Yes.
There were artists before that, but they didn't get the acclaim. Like, my favorite artist is Joe Budden. He's been talking about mental health since 2002. And if you say Joe Budden, the first thing people are going to say is pump it up. He's been talking about mental health, depression, being suicidal, being anxious and all that.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could turn around and, now everybody, their rollout to their albums is, oh, I was so depressed these past years and that's why I took a hiatus, or, oh yeah, I went through bouts of depression. But a lot of the times that's to sell records.
Yeah.
So now we're in a place where you might have been depressed.
Yeah.
But now you're doing that to sell your record.
Yeah. It's a different intention.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
The commercialization of mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
People might say that that's what I'm doing.
Is he?
Cass, am I trying to commercialize mental health?
Or is he bringing awareness?
I'm trying to break the stigma.
Right.
I'm through your story, it helps me. Through my story, it helps you.
That's right.
I like to say this is friend therapy. You don't gotta pay a exorbitant amount of money to get your thoughts and feelings off.
Yep.
That's why I am the best medicine. This is my podcast.
And we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Cut it. But you told me you had a spiritual awakening.
Right.
When and why? How? All of the questions. Take me through it.
Let's take you through it. So 2018, that's when I was finishing on my project with the Beats Rhymes Life Hip Hop Therapy.
Okay.
I attended a conference, an annual summit, to talk about a little about our projects from where we're at in Baltimore. It was my first time traveling out there, and I was able to connect with a lot of dope people. But I had a couple experiences that taught me about the spiritual realm exists. So we had one of our guest speakers was Dolores Huerta, and how she was involved in the labor movement, the farm worker movement. And my grandfather, not the one who started the restaurant, but the one who's on my father's side, that my cousin and I share a grandfather with.
Right.
He passed right before we both finished our college years, and he was the patriarch.
Okay.
Like, he was the godfather.
Yeah.
And he brought to this country to fill in the jobs that the white men didn't do because they went out to World War II.
Yeah.
So he was doing the farm work.
Right.
So when I saw Dolores Huerta, I thought about him. And I went, and I usually don't go up to guest speakers because I feel like everyone's there.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Talk to me.
It's a lot.
But you felt that was a kindred spirit.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I knew I was pulled to talk to her.
Yeah.
So I did, and I went up to her and I said, "Thank you so much for your work. I want to tell you about my grandfather. Her name is Satsuk Nino. You help uplifted voices like him about unfair labor practices and the fight for justice." And then she looked at me and then she said, "Thank you, mijo, my son." And the way she said that was the same tone the way my grandfather
spoke through you.
Yep.
Spoke through her.
So when that happened, I got chills, and I was like, okay, this is the first time I've interacted with my grandfather since his physical passing.
Right.
And so in that moment, I knew, okay, there's something grander.
Yep.
And right after that, there were healing circles going on in different, healing circle workshops, whatever, in different rooms. And there was one on self-doubt, imposter syndrome, but then there was another one just called general unpacking. And I felt like I need to go to that because I need to unpack.
Yeah.
So I went in that generally, yeah. And so I went in that space, and it was huge. There was 30, 40 people, in circle, and there was 2 healing circle facilitators, holders of the space. And people started sharing what they wanted to share, and it was very heavy stuff. And I won't talk about what was shared because that's confidential. Right. But I remember it got to a point towards the end of the facilitation. One of the circle leaders said, "We're about to close up our dialogue.
Right.
So if you have something to share it now." At that moment, I felt my hands starting getting numb. And then my arms started getting numb. So then I was like, okay, ancestors have joined and are telling me you must speak your truth, and you speak your truth now. And then boom, that's when I poured everything out. I talked about moving to Oklahoma City and how I've dealt with depression and anxiety, the racism there, my suicidal ideation, my path into music, and then also trying to figure out what is it like to be a college student, to then finally being a college graduate and trying to figure out what is it like to be a professional. Right. And all those stresses that came with it, and the people who left my life. And I broke down. It was the first time I finally released it all. And at the end, the circle leader says, "How do you want to be affirmed?" You can list the words, ashe, physical touch, and I said physical touch because I've lacked that intimacy for a while. Yeah. And it was a big group hug. And I broke down again.
I'm sure.
To my knees. And I don't remember crying as much, but it was just a lot of that I was letting go. Yeah. And healing.
You almost shed your skin.
Yes. Like a snake. Yeah. Exactly. Internally, that's what I did.
You stepped out of that cocoon, you stepped out of that skin, and then we came.
step into a different power,
Yeah.
a different light. And someone went up to me after that, who was also in the space, and she said, I can tell a lot of people have invested in you.
Right.
And I don't think she was in the space. She knows like energies and stuff. So she just knew. She's like, a lot of people have invested in you, and it's time for you to return on that investment. So all this doubt, and insecurity, and fear of what you've been taught, you need to let go.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, being read, like, so,
yeah.
And so yeah, it was a very powerful experience about learning about me shedding. And then I remember leaving that conference feeling so powerful.
Yeah.
Like my posture was different.
Yeah.
Just my presence was just like, yes. Like I feel tapped into this different, higher frequency. And I was in that element and frequency for probably about a day and a half. But then it went down after I was back working in my apartment in Oakland, and I got a text from one of my students, and they were saying like, we're going to meet with the UC president in Sacramento at 8. I think it was like 8:05. And then around that time, I got a text to my work phone, and I thought it was someone from the conference, right? Because it just happened 2 days ago. And I looked at it, and it was a San Francisco area code number, and it said, "Hey, are you coming in today?" And I said, "Hey, who's this? Sorry." And it said, "Sandy," all caps, ice. And at that moment, I was like, "The fuck?
Yeah,
this is a prank."
Right.
So I said, "What do you mean, ice?" All caps. Sent. No response. And in that moment, usually I don't call. Like I don't like to talk on the phone usually.
Right.
But again, Kindred Spirit said, "We need to do something."
Right.
So I called them back, and then they answered the phone, and they say, "Department of Homeland Security.
Wow.
This is Sandy. How can I help you?"
Right.
And at that moment, I was like, yeah, you texted me, and I don't know why you're reaching out to me. Right. I think this is a breach of privacy. Right. I don't want to be in communication with you in the work that you do. Right. What do you want? And they said, "Oh, we're looking for a Raymond, Ning, N-I-N-G." And I was like, "Look, I don't know who that is, but I hope they're safe. I hope they're not being pursued."
Yeah.
What is your last name? And can you give me a number to complaint? Number, because this is not right.
Yeah, definitely.
She didn't give me her name, but she gave me a number.
Okay.
But I have her number. Oh, she gave me the number to call, but I already had her number right from the text and the call and her first name.
How unprofessional? How you just text me? How you text me on some Homeland Security stuff? What do you mean?
Sloppy.
Am I coming in?
Sloppy.
No, I'm not coming in. What?
That's sloppy.
You gonna have to find me.
Yeah, you could send me a FaceTime. I'm just kidding.
So keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So the call ended, and then I called the other number, and I know this is a DC, like East Coast DC number.
Yeah.
And it's like a younger man. And I tell him about, hey, I got this text. This is the number. Their name is Sandy. They're in the SF office. I want to file a complaint. I want to know her last name. Like, what do I have to do to go through that process?
Right.
And they said, oh, sorry, blah, 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 we can't because X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know, the runaround. And I remember I was pacing around my living room, and then I just felt like a shock that went through my body, and a message from above, from the divine, and it hit me, and it said, the Bay Area is going to get hit with an illegal ICE raid soon. And I remember just being on the phone, like, do I tell him? Do I not? And I did. And I said, okay, you can't give me the number, you can't give me her last name, but I just had this feeling, strong feeling that the Bay Area is going to get hit with the ICE raid soon, and I want to let you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to let our communities know that this is coming, and they must be protected. And I hung up. Yeah. So after that, that's when I started texting people, right? My former coworkers who are involved in like protecting immigrant communities about who should I talk to. Like, I have this message. I need to share this. And then instantly, right? And then I got a text from, and this is not related. I got a text from one of the Healing Circle facilitators, and they said, "Listen to this song. I think you will enjoy it." and it's by, I forgot to pronounce the last name, but her name is Natalia. I think it was like Forcarde. She's a beautiful singer.
Okay.
And the song is called Derecho de Nacimiento.
Okay.
And I don't speak Spanish fluently, more conversational. But I remember putting it on my laptop, both my work and my personal one. One, YouTube playing, and the other one, the lyrics, so I can learn and try to understand it. And this is when I experienced, when I was playing it, and it was on autoplay as well, that's when I had an out-of-body experience. But when I say that, it's not that I came out of my body and I see it, but my whole body went numb, and I just felt... it was just a whole nother sensation, and I had flashbacks of my life. And it was to that song, and what the song was saying was, I was born for a reason. I was made to move mountains.
Talk about it.
And it reaffirmed about like the times in Oklahoma City when I thought about, I don't know if I should live. Right. Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, it's hard out here.
I don't believe in coincidences, man. I believe that everything is synced up the way it's supposed to sync up.
Yeah.
It's eerie sometimes the way life works.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So it definitely, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Yeah.
And I've learned that. So while I was like having that body sensation and flashbacks, it took me back to like when I was a kid, to Oklahoma City, to like college and important people in my life. And the songs kept playing, but it was different songs of hers. And eventually it ended with an acapella, and she was doing a lot of like woes with her vocals, and it reminded me of Cudi. And at that moment, I called his father into the space, because I knew that he passed when he was young, and I was saying, look, I was giving gratitude to everybody who flashed in my mind about people who protected me, and I gave thanks to Cudi's dad, and I was like, look, your son has helped me through a lot, and so I'm thanking him, and I'm thanking you right now in this moment. And again, I was like bursting out in tears. But there was another shedding happened. So after that, I was just like, who do I tell about these things? I don't know of anyone, or at least no one's ever shared with me something about that. Right.
And will people believe me?
Exactly. And will people believe me? And what I did was reach out to some of my students and also like some of my coworkers and close friends about like, yo, this just happened. Right. Like the text, this like sensation that I had, this epiphany. And people for the most part were helpful. Okay. And exactly 7 days from that day was when the ICE raid happened. But I think because of the communication that, not just me, because I know there was others who were. Yeah, definitely. Like there's multiple sources, right? Communicating this was able to do the 24-hour warning that came about. So that's one part. But I have one more part before that ends. Okay. That's all right.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all here in Oakland. That was all there in Oakland. And I remember at that moment I realized, like, a lot of my guilt went away. Yeah. About, like, me being here in Oakland in the Bay. It made me realize, yes, I'm meant to be here in this moment right now.
Definitely.
So it finally felt right. And, yeah, like, I ended up traveling to Jersey for a conference, and it was supporting this labor union work. But around that point, it had already been a couple of days since I been disseminating the messages to people, and I felt very hypervigilant and extreme states of paranoia. Like, I really felt like I was being watched by Big Brother and surveilled. Because everywhere I was going, I was noticing a lot of police presence, and I eventually started noticing a lot of like random activity by people using my account on Facebook.
Oh, they was watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and that put me in this extreme state of paranoia to the point where
I'm sure
where my coworker was like, "Look, I don't think you're okay. We're gonna send you back to the home. Yeah. So you can take time off."
Right.
And and how I still feel like I probably was watched, because one of my last flights from Phoenix to Ontario Airport, which is fun fact where All Falls Down video was shot.
Yep.
When I walked into the flight, the flight attendant was the same person that I had in the previous 2 flights. No such thing as coincidence, right?
Yo.
And we look at each other just like that. Like, yo, what? And yeah, it was just wild. And I asked her, I was like, Lisa, I've going through a wild week, but seeing you makes me like feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I said, I asked her, where should I sit? And then I heard this voice in the back, more like a disgruntled tone. And he said, oh, there's some space right here in the back. And he's pointing at the restrooms. And it's like this older white guy, maybe in his 60s.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this guy's like smart ass. Like,
you really get along with older white dudes.
My presence sometimes, I don't know what's about it, but yo, it's and I mean, that's just like that's just like the first interaction of it. When I sit in the row in front of him, he's joined by other 2 white guys who are talking like they're like Fox News. They're like talking heads for Fox.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, I'm like, I only have 2.5 hours. Like, I just want to be home. And then 2 younger, also Latino men joined my row. So I'm like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Symmetry. And I talked to the homies, and I'm like, yo, I'm Daniel. What's your name? The other one's like, my nickname is blah blah blah. Yeah. But my government name is Daniel. And the other homie says, my name's Anthony. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I take out my license and it said my name was Daniel Anthony.
I'm done.
So
this has been yo.
This is truth telling, not storytelling. Big difference.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about truth versus story. Yeah. So you were sitting in all 3 rows. In all 3 seats.
Yep, different parts of me in the Matrix.
Yeah. That is amazing.
It's true.
In front of Fox News.
In front of Fox News. I think now I look back, it was amazing, but at that moment I was really paranoid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because, homie,
that would make me even more paranoid.
Right? Like, who the fuck is orchestrating?
Yes! What is happening in my life? My conspiracy theorist ass would have been, I would have left. I would have got off the plane. Like, I don't know what I would have done, man.
But to make matters more fun, the older white guy that told me to sit in the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
He kept saying things that are relevant to my life. He said Irvine. He said John Wayne Airport, which is the one close to Irvine. He said Victorville, which is where my parents lived at that time.
Oh my God.
So I was like, oh, homie, is he the feds?
He's definitely the feds.
I'm like, why are you saying these things?
Yes.
And I definitely feel like he was, because when all that happened and transpired and like we landed and shit, I was like, okay, cool. I just want to take a selfie with my row because that's a trip. But I also wanted to get a picture of him because he's behind us, right? Yeah. I was like, just in case anything happens.
Definitely.
So I did.
It was this dude right here.
Yep. So I got a picture.
Yeah.
So homie wants to show up. I know how you look.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how much surgery you will need to do, but we're watching you.
We watching you, bro.
Just like you're watching.
We watching you, bro. Yeah, leave the homie alone.
But don't be threatened by love. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Don't stop letting fear control you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I took a selfie in the row, and then I took a selfie with the flight attendants, right? And I stick around while everyone leaves, except, guess who? The same dude. And I'm like, homie is waiting. And as soon as I motion to finally start leaving the airplane, that's when he does. And that's when I like engage with him and I say, you said Victorville. Why are you leaving? I'm from there. And he was like, oh, there's too many people moving. It's getting terrible out there. And I was like, well, I don't think it's too bad. Obviously, it's like too many people of color moving.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, so, and then I said, okay, well, where are you moving to? He said, Idaho. And I was like, oh, potatoes. And he was just like, not having it. And I was like, he was like, yeah, I'm retiring. I was like, cool, like, congratulations, that's the American dream.
Right.
And he said, yeah, it is. And then, like, scurried away. And we're walking out the terminal, there was a middle-aged black custodian, and it's a Friday night. I think this is like the last flights to have landed.
Red eye.
And the old man in front of me looks at the custodian and he says, because the custodian yawned, he says, smile, brother, it could be worse. So then I shift my energy to the custodian and I say, hey, brother, you have a blessed night.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Get home safe.
Right.
And then, that guy, the feds, big brother, Uncle Sam, looks back at me and was like, man, everything I'm saying, it's like he's trying to combat it or something.
Right.
And he has his backpack and he like pulls it out. And he has this old ass flip phone. Right? It's like, who has those now?
Yeah.
But he ends up going to the restroom and then I'm like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I finally go down the stairs and
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Don't trust people with flip phones. Go ahead.
Yes. Do not. Yes. Boost Mobile. That's all. Do not trust people with flip phones.
Facts.
Yeah. If they don't got apps, drop the A. It's a O. It's ops.
My man's a poet.
Yeah, so I finally see my dad. He embraces me and he gives me like a very bear hug, but kind of to extent where he's like a security guard. Like he was worried about my security and my safety. So it still played in my mind that I was being surveilled and watched, and like maybe like I was running through a lot of conspiracies in my head.
Right.
Like if my parents were in trouble already and they're trying to like separate the family and all these things, whatever. But even in our drive back to home, there was a lot of police presence, and it was just wild. And it was the when I finally got home, I didn't sleep that night, and I actually slept in my parents' bedroom because that's how concerned they were. But I remember flipping on the switch, and I hallucinated for the first time. So when I flipped on the switch in the bathroom on the floor, I saw a red splotch of blood and just disappeared. And in that moment, that's when I was like, you are not okay right now. You're not fully whole and well.
Right.
You need to take a pause.
Definitely.
And that's when I took a month and a half off.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you do in that sabbatical?
I worked on what heals me instead of what kills me. And that was being with family.
Right.
That was being with my pets. That was me watching like hip hop music videos again. Yeah. Like MTV, VH1. That was me cooking. And I transitioned into like a vegan diet and lifestyle. So I was able to finally get back in the kitchen and cook again and be creative in that sense.
Plant gang.
Plant gang.
All
day. We are plants. We just have complicated emotions.
Yeah. True that.
And then, of course, music.
Yeah.
I was able to write some stuff that processed it. And a couple lines of one of my verses from the first project we dropped references it. But, yeah, like, right before when I left that last conference, that my coworker said, you need to leave. You need to take time off. I remember I was sitting in the conference space, and it was just a week before Black Panther dropped, right? And also the soundtrack was out, and they were playing a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
I remember when I was hearing, I was feeling like more calm.
Right.
And I had a vision of the album cover that my cousin and I were working on at the time. And the EP is called Visions. So at that moment, I knew that I realized that we need to finish our project.
Right.
And we need to release it to the world.
Definitely.
So that's when I was tapping into my spiritual awakening.
And that album is Visions?
It's called Visions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on all streaming platforms, and it talks a lot about our emotions, our honesty, and our vulnerability. So I encourage y'all to check that out if you enjoyed a little bit of what you've been hearing today. This is just a snippet of what you might
Definitely.
Yeah.
That is one of the wildest stories I've ever heard.
That's crazy.
and I've really been tuning into the synchronicities of my life.
Yes.
And it's almost like the Michael Jackson video. Like every step I take lights up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, was there a light already in that step? Or did I create that light with my step? Because every single time I step is a light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single time. And it's eerie. Like I said, it's eerie because I've been getting so good at it that I've had premonitions.
Yeah.
I can have premonitions within seconds.
Wow.
Even certain words, certain phrases will pop into my head, and then I will hear them in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Certain scenarios will pop into my head, and then it will act out in life. Yeah. Sometimes I know what someone's going to say before I even say what I was going to say.
On the right path.
On the right path.
Alignment.
It's alignment, man. It's. Shout out to Jeremy. He was on there. I was telling him my work life and my creative life are all meshing together right now. And he said that's what you want in your life for all of your lives to just align.
Right.
So now you just walking down the path.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm glad that you're walking down this path. So what's next for you? Because you won't be here after this month.
Yeah. So after all this like spiritual awakening experience, I started learning more about astrology and how it affects my being in this world, and also like numerology.
I was gonna ask you, what's your number?
You want to guess from our conversation?
3?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
But what is 3? Do you know what's
I thought 3 was creativity.
Okay. But I mean, I don't know all of them, but I should be right. Mine's 1.
I'm a 1 as well.
You know what that is?
My man. Yeah,
leadership.
Of course.
Leaders.
Of course.
We break the status quo. We are culture shifters.
Definitely. We're healers.
We're healers.
Yeah. Definitely.
Damn, that's powerful. You're the first person I met who told me that we share the same life.
Really?
Yeah.
My man.
It's an honor.
We are the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the one like Neo.
Yes, we are the one. I didn't catch it like when I was young because I didn't watch The Matrix until I was 16, and that's when my brain really was open and ready for it.
Yeah.
And at that time I had just switched over to my public school, and I took a humanities class with this black brother from North Oakland, and he the school didn't like him teaching what he was teaching. He created our textbook with articles of invisible children, the sex trafficking, talking about what rape is, and just child rebel soldiers and things like that, and created this book for us to read and for us to have the knowledge that the school wasn't giving us. And so as I'm watching The Matrix, so I didn't watch The Matrix, young. So when I watched it, I was prepared for it. But it wasn't until later on, I'm like, Neo is the one. Neo backwards is one. One backwards is Neo. I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, it's not what they say. It's not a movie. It's a documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, or not backwards, but the anagram.
Yeah.
The anagram. Yeah.
It's all symbols.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying about what's going next, and what I had to do before I came back here for a year. It's almost been a year since all that happened. All the sales happened. I started learning more about astrology, numerology, how that affects me and others, and better just work with other people. And I've been heavy on books. So I watched an interview that Russ did, and he recommended 3 books. And and they've pretty much changed my life. One, The Alchemist.
Yeah, that's my favorite book.
Yep.
It's my favorite book. I'll let you finish. But The Alchemist, The Stranger, and Siddhartha are my top 3 books.
Okay. The Stranger is
Cano.
Okay,
Yep.
I read that in high school.
Yeah, I did.
The last one I haven't.
Yeah, Siddhartha.
Okay.
That's Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell because you shared your favorites. I'll share mine.
Okay.
Alchemist, and then I just finished The Celestine Prophecy
Yes.
this past weekend.
That's that one?
James Redfield.
Okay.
Yeah, and it talks about these coincidences, and I experienced it this past weekend. It's been amazing. The Four Agreements.
Yes.
By Don Miguel.
Right.
And one more. Oh, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success.
Deepak Chopra. Yeah, shout out to Big Sean. He said, I read the 7 spiritual laws and cut off distractions. Period. Like, I'm in a different mind state. I'm in a different spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Like, I cut off distractions. If you're not there to feed the soul, to feed the mind, I cannot have you around.
Yeah.
So how did The Alchemist change your life?
Well, my moon is in Sagittarius,
which
means I have this. My inner child is an explorer, pulled to adventures, but very optimistic and faithful.
I see you.
But my sun in Virgo is the hypercritical, analytical, logical, more hesitant. So there's a lot of conflict, and I've let the sun in Virgo in my life control me most. But now I'm learning how to tap into the Sagittarius in me.
Yeah.
And I feel like The Alchemist is a perfect picture of what a Sagittarius embodies.
Yes.
Right? Like the journey of first of all, the journey of dreams. And I've always been tied to dreams.
Yeah.
Like when Cuddy did the whole project revolving around the themes of dreams, I thought it's brilliant.
Definitely.
And I remember going to the first campus I ever attended was UC Riverside, and I went to a psychology table where grad students were. This is where they're supposed to like woo us and make us want to go, right? And I went up to them and say, "Hey, like, what do y'all study about dreams? Like, what like, what's that in the literature? Like, what are psychologists saying about it?"
Right.
And this guy said, "Oh, that was something mainly studied by Freud. It's not like really valid, right?" But that never resonated with me because I always felt that dreams are very powerful, and how there are messages within it.
Definitely.
And Alchemist talks about that, right? Like interpreting dreams. And actually, my name was given. My name is from Daniel from the Bible, who is a dream interpreter.
I see you.
So I have a dream journal,
I see you.
which helps with the premonitions.
I see you, bro.
So, yeah, The Alchemist told me to go after your dreams.
Synchronization, man.
Yeah.
You are a liver of dreams, Daniel. Come on, come on, man.
Yeah, it's written.
Like, so that's why next book you should read.
Yeah.
Next book you should read is Siddhartha. Because it's alchemist-esque as far as that journey is concerned, and what you just said about the Sagittarius mixed with the Virgo of exploring, and then am I letting the work get in the way, so to speak. Because
Virgos are very work and service oriented. The Sagittarius are very adventure oriented.
Yeah.
So what's the balance?
Yes, you gotta be a pilgrimage.
Yeah.
You gotta just walk around and give what you have to the world.
Yeah.
Almost be nomadic in your endeavors.
Yeah. Exactly.
So speaking of being nomadic in your endeavors.
Yep.
So you're leaving the Bay to do what?
This is my last month in the Bay Area. I'm going to be working on my art more.
Okay.
I'm going to be moving back with family. They're living in Whittier now because my mom, she finally has her own shop where she does eyelash extensions.
Okay.
So if you're looking for the services and you're in LA,
shout out your mama.
Orange County, Lashes by Yadi, She does amazing work. Her and my sister do that. So, feel free to check that work out. And that's in Whittier, and which is where my parents just moved to. So I'm going to be living back there, or living there for the first time. And I kid you not, when we talk about synchronicities and how everything is like already written, and the place that we're living at now is blocks away from where I was born, the hospital I was born. So it's a literal homecoming on my 25th like year of existence, and I was born on the 25th, and that's when they say that's your golden year.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is be with family, work on music more, obviously record, put out videos, perform, but also work like at a vegan shop, because that is very important to me, especially in like the communities that I grew up in. Like there's not that many options, so I want to be a part of like telling others about different options,
Right.
for your wellness.
Definitely.
So that's what I'm looking into now.
Cool.
It's completely shifting the work I'm doing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But value's still alive.
Yeah, and now it seems like it's more, like you said, family oriented.
Yeah.
Instead of, you were helping the outside family.
Yeah.
Now you're coming home and the internal family
Right.
will get that love.
Exactly.
And you can then in turn get that love from the family.
Exactly. And where my cousin and I were dropping our first single of the year, it's called Changes.
Talk about it.
We're dropping on April 24th on all streaming platforms.
What's your name? Do it big. Come on.
Yeah, so you can find us on all major streaming platforms. Senna Daniel Cano, SENA Daniel, and Cano CANO. So the song is called Changes because we're going through a lot of shifts in our life.
Yeah.
And it's wild because I remember writing a piece of that song at my house in Victorville in November. This was right after my grandfather who passed birthday was coming up. And I was in a very dark place.
Yeah.
I was this close to quitting my job.
Yeah.
I was this close to moving back to SoCal.
Right.
But it just would have been because I gave up. And I think the Virgo in me was like, no, you can't.
No giving up.
But write about it.
Yep.
Right? Shout out, speak on it.
Speak on it.
And Second Mondays. I was able to showcase this, or showcase a little bit about it.
I saw him performing back to back, man. I saw him perform Monday and Wednesday. So yeah, this man got it. Check him out.
We all have gifts. You just gotta share it.
Yeah.
And don't humble yourself too much too.
Speaking of gifts, you said you had something for me?
Yeah. So we have.
Look at me. You got something for me?
So here's two things. We have stickers.
Yes.
So the first one, Visions album cover, and that's the vision that I had at the conference.
Yeah.
When it told me that you need to do your art. That's our first project. And then the other one is just a more holistic picture of my cousin and I when we're hanging around, goofing around, freestyling.
Right.
Hitting up vegan shops and just, bullshitting.
Visions.
So.
Do these lines mean anything? Does this design mean anything?
To me, it means introspection, and it's night, and so we gotta look into our shadows. And a lot of people are scared to do that, but
definitely
there's a lot of light. Like light creates shadow.
Yes.
So I think that is what Visions is about.
These are fire. These are fire. I can't wait to listen to it. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
Before we go, I like to give my listeners something to think about.
Yep.
We don't just talk for our health. I mean, we talk for our mental health.
Yep.
But it's actually to help the listener grow as well. Because I've grown. I hope you've grown from this conversation.
Definitely.
So I'm getting into my diagnosis.
All right.
Diagnosis.
Yes.
That's my shit. I love doing that. Number 1, find your identity. We walk around here not knowing who we are, and that's one of the biggest problems that we have. It's we don't know who to be,
and we're taught who we're not because there's money in it.
Number 2, pay the knowledge forward. I do this podcast because I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas that I need to get off. I do this podcast because I want to hear from people who I deem is that are doing the dope work, whether it's the work on themselves or work for the community. So, like you said, it's generational knowledge. So my youngsters are getting me, getting my game, getting my knowledge that I have.
Yeah,
you had grown men that you were leading.
Yeah,
we have to lead, man. We have to lead. We were born with number 1s, man. 1's up if you're a 1.
Life path. If you don't know,
get to it. Numerology. It'll tell you a lot about yourself. Number 3, you have a voice. Use it. Can you say that again?
You have a voice, so use it.
Use it. Don't let them tell you to shut up. Don't let them, what they say, don't hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Yes.
Let it shine. Let it shine. All right? Number 4, connect to people on a soul level. Stop with this surface. Oh, hey, yeah, it's my friend. Are they your friend?
Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
So are they your friend or are they just company?
Company. Are they your friend or are they just company? Are they just company?
Because you know how companies treat people.
Companies, yeah. You know how companies. Shout out to companies. Y'all are sick. Number 5. Shed your old self so you can step into your power.
Yeah.
Shed your old self so you can step into your power. We have to get rid of things that aren't working for us.
Yeah.
We have to get rid of our old lives to make a new pathway. We said R.I.P. Nip.
Yep.
He said, yeah, I can be a gangbanger. I'm also going to help my community. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to give other people the resources to be great.
Right.
Walk in your power, man.
And that relates to paying it forward.
Yeah. And help others walk in power. And our last one. You are here for a reason. Find that reason. And it's hard. And sometimes it seems like nothing is going to go your way and that the world is out to get you and that everybody's out to get you.
Yep.
Honestly, it's really no one out to get you but yourself.
Yep.
You're putting all these walls up and you're basically suffocating yourself. You've put yourself in a box with no holes in it. How long are you going to last? Release yourself from that prison. Those are my days.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah. Release yourself. Take the plug out your neck.
Yeah. I just want to say, off that, you were born with a purpose. You're a fighter, moving mountains from side to side. Follow your passion, feel the fire ignite. You are healing. We will rise.
But, well, before we go. Once again, give them your Instagram. Give them where can they find you?
Yeah.
Shout out your mama again. All that.
Yeah. Shout out my mother, my dad, my sister, my cousins, the whole fam. My personal account, you can follow me, is at Kid Cano, KIDCANO. And then for the music, that's Sena Daniel Cano, SENA Daniel CANO. And if you don't know, now you know.
Baby. Shout out to your mom's business again, though.
And Lashes by Yadi. Her and my sister do beautiful work. So I know sometimes y'all want to maybe do something new. I guarantee you will walk out with a smile on your face. So check it out.
Dope. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much
Appreciate
for the opportunity. Connecting on a soul level.
Definitely.
That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Thank you for your work.
Hey, I'm working, man.
Yeah, y'all ain't ready.
I'm working, man. We out here.
We're out here.
Best Man Pod, this is the diagnosis. Simba Roar, back in this thing one more time, bruh. Kid Cano, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.
Follow us on everything, Best Man Pod, SoundCloud, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook.
Hey. MySpace,
Black Planet, Farmers Meat,
hey.
Christian Mingle, podcastlove.com. What if there was a app for all podcasters to fall in love with each other? I definitely would not be on that. We out.
Yeah. Peace.
Yo, the summertime is winding down, so it's time to go ahead and get that fall wardrobe together. Check out the new fall line from Defy Life Gear. It's got all new designs, jackets, socks, and you gotta check out the brand new alternate logo. We also got sweatshirts for all the podcast gear you love so much. So go ahead and visit www.defylifegear.com. That's www.defylifegear.com to get your gear today. And remember, Defy Life, lifestyle defiant. It's defylifegear.com.